and I'm feeling good.
Grants to religious groups fall, study says. Despite the Bush administration's rhetorical support for religious charities, the amount of direct federal grants to faith-based organizations declined from 2002 to 2004, according to a major news study released on the 14th. White House officials immediately disputed the findings. They said they will release their own figures next month, showing an increase in federal funding for religious groups.
Yes, once they've had a chance to doctor the figures.
The dispute highlighted a lack of independent, widely accepted data about how many federal tax dollars are going to religious organizations, what they are doing with the money, and whether they are more or less effective than other charities. Some critics of the president's faith-based initiative have long contended that the administration is shifting who gets the money, but not increasing the total amount of federal funding available to shelter the homeless, counsel prisoners, and provide other social services. The study is, quote, a confirmation of the suspicion I've had all along that what the faith-based initiative is really all about is defunding social programs and dumping responsibility for the poor on the charitable sector, said Kay Guinane, director of the nonprofit advocacy program at OMB Watch, a liberal watchdog group in Washington. Quote, it sounds warm and fuzzy, but they've been cutting down the size of the pie all along, and not making the pie higher, as our president likes to say. The study by the nonpartisan Roundtable on Religion and Social Welfare Policy examined 28,000 grants made by 9 federal agencies over 3 years. It found that religious charities got an unchanging share, about 18%, of the money awarded each year. But because the total pie, there's that pie again.
Weird.
This is pie fixation. The total pie of available funding shrank by more than $230 million over the 3 years. The slice that went to the religious groups also declined from $670 million in 2002 to $626 million in 2004. At the same time, the study found that the initiative has succeeded in encouraging more religious groups to apply for funding, and the number receiving grants rose almost 15%. Huh?
Well, there's a silver lining.
Less federal money is being divided into more grants, the study concluded. H. James Towie, director of the White House Office of Faith-Based and Community Initiatives, accused the study of bias, saying that it was, quote, only the latest indication of the Roundtable's agenda in opposition to the president's faith-based initiative, unquote. The study did not count grant-making programs that were created after 2002 and ignored such programs as Head Start, which he said was the second largest source of federal funds for religious organizations after the Department of Housing and Urban Development's Section 202 housing program for the elderly poor. Quote, they have picked rotten cherries and come up with a rotten pie. There's that fucking pie again! What is with this pie? You know, it is possible to make charts that aren't pies. It really is.
It's true.
They're entirely functional charts that are things other than pies.
I'm in a data mining class now, so I know all about that.
Yeah? What kind of other shape could they refer to? Just sort of break up this repetitive references to pies.
You could have bar graphs.
Bar graphs!
Histograms.
Now, but you can make the bar graph higher.
That's true. You
cannot
can always
make the
make
pie
a bar
higher.
graph higher. You can have XY plots. Lots of things.
They took a very small sample of programs and grants and are drawing conclusions that are completely inaccurate. Unquote.
Wow.
Who is this guy with the British accent?
I don't know what his accent is. I just did that one. Towie said the White House has been collecting growing amounts of data on grants each year, beginning with 2 federal agencies in 2002, 5 in 2003, 7 in 2004, and 10 in 2005. When it issues its report for 2005 in March, he said, we'll look at 25,000 grants in just 1 year, and will show that there's been an increase every year in the category of competitive non-formula grants for social services.
You know what the increase is?
What?
3.14%.
More pie!
How do you know it's that there's an increase and it's that amount?
That was a joke. He just said there was an increase. I was
Pie.
Ah.
You see pie.
Yes,
It's
yes.
much funny when you have to
Certainly more pie.
Yes,
More pie for the pie-eating masses.
quite. Let them eat pie.
Several independent researchers who were not involved in the study defended the roundtable. Candy S. Hill, Senior Vice President for Social Services at Catholic Charities USA, said the study's findings fit with her experience. It doesn't surprise me, because overall, funding for most social service programs is shrinking, she said. We're grateful.
All these Shakespearean actors in all these social service positions. It's just bizarre.
Stop fucking interrupting me.
No.
We're grateful there's a recognition by the administration of the wonderful work that faith-based groups do, but we continue to be concerned about the levels of funding.
So what it comes down to is they're being accused of actually not violating the First Amendment as badly as they were before.
Right.
And they're lying to convince us that they are.
Yeah. Exactly.
And they have the Queen to do it. No, the Queen sounds much older and squeakier.
Stanley Carlton Thies.
Oh, no.
Stanley Carlton Thies, Director of Social Policy Studies at the Center for Public Justice, an evangelical Protestant think tank.
Wow. Oh, no.
Now, there's some irony. An evangelical think tank
No.
in Annapolis said, the study gives the lie to alarmists who think the administration is funneling vast sums to churches. Now, wait a minute. Can't these right-wingers get their story straight? The Bush administration is insisting this study is wrong. We are, in fact, giving vast sums, increasing sums to the religious sector.
Right.
But this guy is saying it gives the lie to alarmists who think the administration is funneling vast sums to churches. They can't get their fucking story straight.
Churches? How preposterous! What poppycock!
Which is it, though? Are you giving more, or are you proving that you're not giving more?
It depends who you're talking to, and if you're talking to two different people in the same article, well, it looks like a contradiction.
But you may not be able to tell you're talking to two different people in the same article because they have the same accent. Look at the huge percentage of money that continues to go to sexual organizations.
No, damn them!
Lord Carlton Thies, who formerly worked in the White House faith-based office. The image that there's this Bush push that's going to turn the government into a religious apparatus, if people think that's what's happening, they're wrong. Unquote.
Right you are, Governor!
But that guy deserved the accent, because he's got the two-part last name.
He's got that great name.
Sir Stanley Carlton Thies.
Anything that ends in ton, I think, is fair game for an accent.
And I'm feeling good.